Hey guys, I'm Meteorologist Chris Tomer. Let's talk some mountain weather. In the Northeast got hit. They got 22 inches, 23 inches in the last 24 hours. Killington, Sunday River also got good snow, and I'm sure it's just fantastic up there today. So the next thing on the list for the West is an Arctic front that comes in 12, 19, 20, 21, 22. And what it will do is drag snow from north to south through parts of Montana, Idaho, Wyoming, Colorado, and some other places as well with the Arctic front. But that's coming. And then, looking down the road for the Northeast, there is another storm system. The Arctic front becomes this next storm system for the Northeast on or about the 12-23 timeline. But that storm is looking warm initially and could be rain before it changes over to snow. Let me show you the setup right now. So infrared satellite, we've got a northwest oriented jet stream running down out of the Pacific Northwest. But the low out in the Pacific is going to take a while, the one way out north of Hawaii. That one may start to become entrained with the Arctic front and pull some of that moisture in. That little low to the south is a meandering low around Los Angeles. That really becomes nothing as far as I'm concerned. So I wrote about it on my blog, East and West Snow Through Christmas, christomer.com. I did a few different bullet points here with some timelines. Beyond all this, there is a northwest flow type of situation potentially, and this is the second day I'm seeing this, maybe third day, between 1223 and 1226 that could favor Wyoming, Idaho, Montana, Colorado, the Pacific Northwest, BC, and Banff. So that'll run us through Christmas. That's a possibility. Let me show you what the pattern looks like. So this is the current setup. There's the meandering low, jet stream, northwest orientation, big dip out in the northeast. So you got the big trough and out in the northeast. That's what's really dictating things right now. But looking down the road, this is 1225. I showed you this yesterday as well, but here's today's update on the jet. Looks very similar. With this type of setup, it's possible you see a nice little northwest type of flow pattern coming out of Idaho, Montana, Wyoming, potentially clipping the Wasatch and running through the central and northern mountains of Colorado. Throughout the period, once we get to about 1219, 1220, through probably 25, 26, the Tetons, I have them highly favored. If I were to pick a place and say, this is a good place for Christmas, I'd pick the Tetons as of right now, just because of the flow. It looks like it's going to be consistent, and you'll see the numbers coming up that'll prove that point. All right, so back to the blog. I want to talk a little bit about the timing of all of this. This is also on the blog. I'll take it full. Future radar and satellite. So pretty quiet across the west unless you're up in the Pacific Northwest or Banff. Now, by the 1920, here comes the Arctic front. Starts to pull in some of that low. And by 21, we're into it. Look at the snow running from the Tetons, the Wasatch into Colorado, and then it's gone. And by the 22nd, here comes the next storm system. I'll run that out one more time. Here's Sunday at 6. Monday at 6. Here comes Tuesday. The snow moves into the interior. With the Arctic front, there's Wednesday. There's Thursday. And there's Friday. We transition to the next pattern. That low will start to pull in some of that and becomes more of a northwest flow orientation from about the 23rd through the 26th. All right, so before we go into totals, at the end of this, if you want to subscribe to my blog, just put in your email, hit subscribe, you'll get a confirmation. I do updates pretty much every single day. I miss a day here and there, but you'll get notified in your email box whenever there's an update. And this is where I put a lot of my information, is on these blog posts. And I always try to add to them a little bit when I do the videos. So there's always a little bit of difference, but please subscribe if you haven't. So let's go with the totals. And there's a few different phases to this. 1217 through 1219, most of the snow at this point is going to be up in the Pacific Northwest, with the Arctic front gathering itself through parts of Banff, northern Idaho, northwest Montana. Phase 2, 1220 through 1222, the Arctic front drops down, brings the snow with it, and you get a really good orographic flow with good ratios and cold air for the Tetons. I'm thinking a little over a foot just for that period alone, maybe 6 to 7 for the Wasatch and the central to northern mountains of Colorado, and for potentially 4 to maybe 8 inches, 9 inches, something like that. So that'll be wonderful to see. And actually today I'm including just a little bit of snow for the Tahoe area between 1220 and 1222. Didn't see this yesterday, but today I think it's a possibility. Okay, final period, take us through Christmas, 1223 through 1226. This is a pretty good period. We'll pull in some of the low. We'll get some cold air. We'll get a good northwest flow going, and the numbers are really good. Pacific Northwest, Banff, look at Idaho, look at Montana, and look at the Tetons. So this period dropped 14. Another 20 during this period. We could be looking at 2 to 3 feet of snow between the 20th and the 26th in the Tetons. That's why I like the Tetons. The orographics look good. Light snow through the Wasatch during this period, and another 4 to maybe 12 in the central to northern mountains of Colorado. So the central to northern mountains of Colorado also doing very well with both of these periods with the flow pattern. All right, let's talk the Northeast. So 1217 through 1222, the bulk of what you see here is leftover residual snow from the big storm on 1216, 1217. Then it goes quiet. There's going to be some lake effect snow, 1218, 1219. If you're near the lake, you'll have good lake effect snow. The final period leaves something to be desired. 1223 through 1226. There's a big storm on or about the 23rd. But the problem is, like I said earlier, it's probably going to be warm. At least that's the way it looks now. That could change. So it'd be rain initially, which cuts down on totals, and then you get some wraparound snow, and that's what you're seeing right there. Through Jay Peak, Mount Washington, and Sugarloaf with a little bit of wraparound snow. So there you go. That'll take us through Christmas for both the East and the West. Always appreciate you tuning in here. Take care.